Time travel's fun, but like the old saying says, if you don't conquer the era that you visit, did you really go there? Hello, Internet. Welcome to Tales Showcase, where we don't take kindly to people from the future. I'm your host, the Watcher of New Earth. We continue our month-long look at the Avengers, as today we journey back to the early days of the team and get the first appearance of a villain who would become integral to Avengers lore.
Published in 1964 and crafted by the late legends Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, Avengers number 8 proved a stepping stone in the team's history, as it would be the first time they'd face a villain that was wholly theirs and not a previously established villain or a team-up of villains from the members' solo adventures.
Okay, so this isn't technically the first original villain the team got, but it's the first one that matters. I mean, when you think of iconic Avengers villains, do you really think of the Lava Men? Or the Space Phantom? Who thinks of the Space Phantom? Characters like the Space Phantom are not going to be relevant to this channel, alright? Not now, not tomorrow, not 2 weeks from now when a video's going up. Not ever, okay? So get over it, alright? Sorry to all you Space Phantom fans out there. It's not going to happen. Anyway, this is the Avengers number 8.
The story opens with the team assembling at their mansion base. Apparently, the Pentagon has requested a meeting with the heroes, and they oblige by setting up a teleconference. This isn't really relevant, but why is Thor in charge of the equipment? I mean, Iron Man is right there, and clearly watching him to make sure he doesn't screw something up. As the meeting starts, the general on the screen shows them a video which, for the 60s, is looking pretty dang great. Tight editing, cinematic angles, A+ to the guy at the Pentagon who put it together. As the Avengers watch, a spacecraft lands and begins decimating the military. A figure steps out as the general narrates. We were prepared for almost anything, and yet, the sight which greeted our eyes still came as a shock. It was the figure of a human, alone, seemingly unarmed and yet supremely confident.
Little bit of trivia here for you. Alone, seemingly unarmed, and supremely confident is exactly how I introduce myself on Tinder dates.
The figure introduces himself as Kang the Conqueror and demands to speak with the people in charge. With that, the video ends and the Avengers spring into action. Soon they're meeting Kang face to face and each one of the Avengers seems ready to strike. That is, except the Wasp, who is busy wondering how dreamy Kang is under that helmet.
Oh, women of the 60s, those notorious horn dogs.
Kang seems oddly nonchalant as Iron Man asks what his deal is, to which Kang answers, conquest.
I mean, that's kind of a given, right? You don't go around with the name Kang the Conqueror and then just arrive in eras to learn about their cooking. Come on, Stark, you're supposed to be the smart one.
As the Avengers stand waiting, Kang hits a button on his belt that activates a ray on his ship which weakens the gravity around most of the Avengers, rendering them helpless. He plans to turn the gravity back on with added force, hoping to crush the heroes under the pressure. Thor, not having been trapped, intervenes. Kang, however, transports Mjolnir into subspace, where it misses him and eventually returns to Thor.
And you might be thinking right about now, hey, moron, condense this, move along, pacing, and please don't call me a moron, it hurts my feelings. But also, thank me that I'm not reading this verbatim. Like most villains of the 60s, Kang doesn't know when to shut up.
The trapped Avengers break free, but stand back as someone from the Defense Department arrives and speaks to Kang. And now, Kang, or whatever you call yourself.
Mr. Conqueror will do fine.
Kang, seemingly amused, decides to reveal a bit about himself. He says that he is from the year 3000, where he perfected time travel. His first trek through time led him to ancient Egypt, where he took on the identity of Pharaoh Rama-Tut, a villain who had previously fought the Fantastic Four. When he journeyed back, he went to the year 4000, where he found an apocalyptic future. There he got his thirst for conquest, amassing an army from the survivors, and rebuilt his time machine so he could rule over any time period with his superior weapons. Now finished with his story, the Avengers decide to attack again. While he has the upper hand, the Avengers manage to get the drop on him briefly, and they all leap to attack. I've been itching to get close enough to him to destroy that electronic belt of his.
So what I'm hearing is that through all this insanity, Iron Man was only thinking about taking Kang's belt off. Tumblr, extrapolate that as you will. And for those of you saying that's clearly not what Iron Man said, I know. But that's what I heard. And you can't convince me otherwise.
Before the Avengers can attack, and before Stark can reach that belt he so desires, Kang hits a button that sucks the four heroes into the ship. Once in the ship, the Avengers are powerless, with Thor and Giant Man unable to transform, Iron Man's chest device malfunctioning, and all four of them in a state of paralysis. Outside, Kang continues to issue demands while the Wasp and Rick Jones, the Avengers' teen sidekick that's here for some reason, escape. They intend to get help and regroup to save the rest of the team. Meanwhile, the whole world seems to have gone crazy over Kang.
And I genuinely don't know what surprises me more about this scene. The fact that newspapers got last-minute news and printed out newspapers about it and got them on newsstands in like a couple hours, or the fact that in that same time, they got representatives from all the major countries and all of them voted to go against Kang. Every single one of them. You'd think there'd at least be one dissenter. And I know what you're thinking, oh, it's probably France are cowards. No! No, no, no! That is an outdated stereotype, and frankly, I will not stand for it. If there's any country here that's going to betray us, it's Finland. They were voted happiest country in the world last year, and they will do anything to keep that. I've got my eye on you, you Finnish flipsters.
After a while, Rick returns with his friends from the Teen Brigade as they execute their plan, which is to pretend to join up with Kang so they can access his ship. Now, while this is an obviously stupid plan, what's even stupider is that it actually works.
My stars and garters. You know, the mob has a stricter hiring policy than you. Arby's has a stricter hiring policy than you.
On board the ship, Rick and the team split up to find the trapped heroes, but Kang soon calls on them to retrieve a device for him. Two of the teens do so, but in order to buy the others more time, they drop the device, which makes Kang freak out.
Which makes me think, what if that had been a bomb? What if it had been a bomb? You know, I know you're trying to help, but you're just dropping things to create distractions. What if it had been a bomb? You would have nuked everyone on the planet. Bunch of morons.
Back on the ship, the boys continue their search. Before long, Rick comes across two flashing buttons, which he presses hoping that it's a way to free his heroes.
Nah, not really. But still, what if it had been a bomb? Don't press things if you don't know what they are.
The Avengers all manage to break out while the Wasp is on her way back with a weapon she believes will help them. As Kang manages to contain whatever was flowing out of the device, the Avengers strike again. Kang still stands his own, that is until Thor, after hammering at the shield, manages to create an opening in the barrier. Seeing his chance, Giant Man uses the gun the Wasp brought him and fires an acidic gas at Kang, which is said to dissolve fabric and machinery.
Which, to me, sounds like it should also be able to disintegrate organic matter. And I think Giant Man knows that too. I'm pretty sure he intended to kill Kang.
Giant Man also gives a shot to the interior of the ship, which renders Kang's missiles useless. Kang, sensing defeat, turns his suit radioactive, which he's immune to an extent. Which was also Loki's escape plan in the first Avengers story, so, minus 10 points for unoriginality there, guys. Also, look at Cap and the Teen Brigade try to protect themselves with Cap's shield.
They should have renamed Duck and Cover to Crouch and Hide in honor of these chuckleheads, which, let's be clear, are most certainly dead.
Thor, however, uses his hammer to redirect the radiation back at Kang, which begins to overload him. Kang flees to a ship and promptly escapes into time. And the comic ends with the Avengers saying they'll be ready for him if he ever returns.
And return he did, but thankfully never quite this dumb. And that was Avengers number 8. Look, it's not amazing, but it's fun.
Like all stories from this era, it's incredibly campy and goofy, but in its defense, it's a fairly fun story, and while it does kinda lag in some parts, and the villain is undone by his own ineptitude, it has interesting action pieces, and the heroes themselves are never aggressively dumb.
Unlike another story that we're going to be looking at later this month. Until then, as always, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. This is the Watcher of New Earth, signing off. Hi, I'm the Watcher of New Earth. If you like that video, hit that subscribe button, maybe even the bell icon. It probably does something, right? I mean, YouTube hired someone to put it there, so the least we could do is show appreciation by hitting it.